This is a meditation for transformation and for overcoming the pains and dysfunction of life graciously so that you can move through into that new growth pattern. And I just want you to know that you are worthy. You have enough, and you are worthy, and you're worthy of every virtue. You're worthy of every belief that is supportive of life. So when you hear these statements, let them penetrate into your heart and recognize where you might not be in alignment with them, so that you can become in alignment with them. And sometimes affirmations don't seem to work because we're not congruent with them. So when you start to feel uncomfortable going, well, I really want that, but I really don't believe it, those are the ones that we want to work on and to really find why. Dig deep into yourself. Why are you blocking that? What belief system have you established that keeps you from being congruent with those things? So I use forgiveness for that. Others just use I am statements. Either way, the energy is flowing to help you. So in this meditation, we're going to use whole body breath with each statement. So when I say breathe, you're going to breathe in through your nose and through every pore of your body. So imagine white light coming in, not just through your nose, but in through every pore of your body. Taking that in, and then when you exhale through your nose and every pore, releasing the dark and heavy energy out and down through your feet. So let's practice this. Breathe in through your nose and every pore of your body, taking in a beautiful white light. Then exhale out through every pore, releasing the dark and heavy energy out and down through your feet. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in through your nose and in through every pore of your body, taking in the beautiful white light. Then exhale out through every pore, releasing the dark and heavy energy out and down through your feet. Now you can create new neural pathways if you breathe in between each of these statements, so that you're creating a communication with your brain and your body in doing that. However, the timing can be off, so if you just want to listen to these statements and keep a steady breath of whole body breath and releasing out through your feet through this whole meditation at your pace and your lung capacity, eventually you'll be able to control it so it'll match with the statements. But for now, it's okay to just listen and allow them to sink into your body, but continue with pleasant whole body breath through this whole thing. And in doing that, you will be clearing and transforming any dysfunctions that are not aligned with kindness and compassion. Also pay attention to any resistance where you may feel that you're not congruent with a statement, or there may be sensations in your body. Things might get more painful, or you might have buzzing. Those are energetic shifts. Allow and release, and the calmer you are, the easier and faster it is to release through that. So start breathing. Take a big breath in and release out through your feet. And we'll begin with the maxim: take kindness and benevolence as basis. Take frankness and friendliness to heart. Speak with reason. Treat with courtesy, act with emotion, and accomplish results. Keep breathing throughout this. I give myself permission to bring up and address the unconscious beliefs that have kept me stuck in patterns of response that bring harm to myself and others. And breathe. I give myself permission to forgive the people and communities that have influenced my beliefs when they have encouraged distorted ideas, even when they believed it was good. And breathe. I forgive those in my life experience so far who intentionally or unintentionally caused me harm because of their own broken and distorted interpretations of life. And breathe. I forgive myself for my incorrect interpretation of the love and care offered to me by those who truly wanted to show love. And breathe. I ask others to forgive me when I have hurt or caused them harm because of my mistaken interpretation of reality. And breathe. I forgive myself for resistance I have toward embracing all that is good, lovely, and benevolent. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that miraculous transformation, healing, change, and opportunities only happen as a reward after I have been good enough to receive them. And breathe. I embrace and receive all opportunities, gifts, and love that flow to me abundantly, without hesitation or skepticism, but with thankfulness and gratitudes. And breathe. I give myself permission to surrender and allow for the highest and greatest good to come to me, to transform me and remake me, even if it's painful. And breathe. I forgive myself for distorting my alignment with myself, with the great Creator, and with great nature, because I do not know my true self. And breathe. I give myself permission to accept my true self and clear the blockages that keep me distorted in my physical health, my emotional health, my social health, and my spiritual health. And breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for whatever comes into my presence with gratitude and calmness. And breathe. I forgive myself for knowingly or unknowingly creating the emotional and physical patterns that block my flow in connection to myself, heaven, earth, or humanity. And breathe. I give myself permission to grow and evolve by giving up the stories of the past so that the universe can write new and glorious ones. And breathe. I love and accept myself right now as I begin to understand and accept the corrections to any false programming and beliefs that I may have accepted as truth. And breathe. I love and accept myself as I align myself to think and feel in the way the universe thinks and feels, accepting the miracles that flow through me, around me, above me, and below me, abundantly, and joyously. Breathe. I love and accept that the universe is highly flexible, and I can be too, because when I'm flexible, which is in harmony with the universe, I am open to the infinite possibilities, and then possibilities will appear. And breathe. I forgive myself for not seeing myself through the eyes of wonderment. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that if I can't see the good and beautiful in me, no one else can. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it's safer to reject myself before others reject and hurt me. And breathe. I forgive myself for hating who I am and doing nothing to help me feel proud of myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I have to deny and reject my feelings because they are not trustworthy. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that my body is a curse and I am not allowed to celebrate who I am. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I have to be perfect before I can feel peace within myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I must hold on to old pains and traumas, hoping that someone will see them and save me. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that if I allow life to flow through me, I may lose something valuable forever. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that if I am in the flow of life, I will lose control and be helpless to do anything about it. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I would rather be in control and stuck in life than free-flowing and get hurt. And breathe. I forgive myself for wanting to live in the past instead of enjoying the present moment. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it is better for me to stay in my comfort zone, even if I feel pain and discouragement and dis-ease. Breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid to assimilate and absorb all the good around me. And breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid that if my expectations are not met, they never will be. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing I can never get what I most desire. And breathe. I forgive myself for being so afraid of what may happen in the future that I can't assimilate what is actually happening in my life right now. And Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I cannot be at peace until everything is in order the way I perceive it should be. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that if I don't have peace, it's because someone else did not meet my expectations. Breathe. I give myself permission to call up and transform, transmute, release, and remove all rejection of wisdom, rejection of self, refusal to know or understand, indecision, resentments and blame, misalignments with life, distortions of reality, and denial of my spiritual self for the highest and greatest good of myself and others. Breathe. I now give myself permission to unblock and activate the flow of chi and information, communicating freely with all parts of my body, mind, and spirit, and raising the quality of my thoughts. Breathe. I give myself permission to see the past, present, and future clearly and honestly. Breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for every aspect of creating the life that supports me and that I love. And breathe. I give myself permission to embrace wisdom through joyfully accepting the experiences of life in all their diversity. And breathe. I give myself permission to release all that keeps me from feeling and comprehending truth. And breathe. Without self-hate and rejection of my goodness and beauty, I am free to align my life with my true self and all the creative and beautiful energies of the universe. And breathe. When I am aligned with what is true and in harmony with all things, I am free to be courageous in all challenges, suffering, and struggles. Breathe. I am free to release the patterns in my consciousness that created the conditions of dis-ease, believing good comes from each experience. And breathe. I am free to be comfortable in my body and experience emotional balance and feel at peace. And breathe. I am free to embrace and celebrate myself and allow my creativity to flow freely. And breathe. I am free to easily assimilate and absorb all that I need to know and release the past with joy. And breathe. I am free to let go of the past, make peace with it, and not have it trigger me into dysfunctional reactions. And breathe. I am free to receive the new, the fresh, and the vital, so that I may participate in the flow of life. And breathe. I am free to see myself as beautiful, lovable, and valuable. And breathe. and I am free to be satisfied with myself. And breathe. To close this out, I want to share this blessing with you. In out of the way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you are ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight, when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. So, all right. Well, have a good evening. Take care of yourself. Love on yourself. Don't hate yourself, especially when it throws you for a loop and it starts hurting in different places and you're just like, why are you tormenting me, body? It's not. It's just trying to get you back into alignment. So just love on it like you would a little kid and give it water and jello and be nice to it. So we will see you next week, if not on Friday for the meditation.